Good morrow, good people. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're having another little heart-to-heart. It's not so much a gameplay, and it's not a gameplay. We're just gonna have a little quick conversation. It was something that I was thinking about earlier today, and I decided, well, if I'm sitting upstairs talking to myself about this, I could just come downstairs and record. This is content, yes. Whenever I do one of these sort of emotional type of videos, it'll always be a double upload day. So later on today, Hogwarts Legacy Part 5 will be up and ready for your viewing pleasure. Yay. If you see me looking down consistently, my cat is demanding pets. Even though I have given her pets, and hopefully she'd understand that if I could finish this, I could give her more focused pets afterwards. Don't start trying to use my leg as a scratching post. Thank you. Today I wanted to talk about learning from your mistakes. This isn't one of those things where it's like people refuse to learn from their mistakes no matter how many times it happens and all that. No. For me, at least the way that my brain works, even if I can give you the Webster's Dictionary textbook version of what learning from your mistakes is, or of what learning from your mistakes actually means, it doesn't mean I understand. I can explain it to you. I can put it in all kind of dissertations. I got you. But for me to fully understand, I need to be able to point to something in my life, put my finger on it and be like, this is that. It's similar to the other episode where I was talking about having a support system. Like, I need to be able to put my finger on said support system for me to understand that I have a support system, right? Even if it's blatantly obvious to everyone around me. So as I came to this realization recently with the whole learn from your mistakes thing, I had this incident at work where I started to have more responsibility with my job. And at one point I was a part of an email that contained internal and external people from, internal people in our company and folks that we worked with at other companies and whatnot. And I was unaware of that because historically my communications have been all internal. Even if they were with different teams, it was still within the company, right? And so if I didn't know a name, I just automatically assumed, oh, that's somebody I don't know in engineering or something. That's just a name I don't know, right? I don't know everybody at the company. So there was this email that came in. I had what I thought was complete knowledge. In fact, it was limited knowledge based off of what I've learned so far. But I responded to said email, and the people who didn't work within our company went off. And I'm like, oh God. And basically my boss had to step in and be like, no, misunderstanding. We're good. Everything's fine. And I was devastated because I have a hair trigger to blame myself for everything. And then it spirals into a not so happy place. But the reason I was always weary of getting into a role that had communication with external partners was because I was scared of up, basically. And I did. And I was like, oh God, see, I told you. But that was a thing that was barely remembered. Secondly, from that point, I learned one very important thing. I don't give a flying crap if I know that the email is internal. If I see a name I do not know, I hover. If you use Outlook, I don't think most people use Outlook, but I assume most email clients work this way. Whatever. If you hover over a person's name, it will tell you their email address. And that is what I should have done in that first email when I didn't know who these people were, but I did not. But now I do. No matter what, even if I know for a fact, I'm like, I know I talked to you last week, but were you in the company or were you visiting? Let me hover. Who is you? Where are you from? And I learned that from that. That was the thing I learned from my mistake. And then on top of that, I also learned a way of how to communicate with people outside of the company versus inside of the company. Ma'am, my hand is go somewhere. Go on the couch or sit there. I don't care. It's like cool if she would just sit there and just stare at me, but then she starts clawing my leg because I'm not giving her pets. And I refuse to give her pets when she does that because I don't want her to think that behavior equals pets. but she chill now. Anyway, not only did I learn to be extra thorough with the people on these email threads, because if I get in, as I'm getting into these more complex roles, I'm talking to a bunch of people. I learned things from that incident, and it was a thing that I was scared of. It was a reason why I didn't really want to do communications with external partners before, because I didn't want to seem silly. I didn't want to have the wrong response. I didn't want them to think that, like, I tend to respond with like a smiley face at the end of my stuff because I just like it, and I'm like, what if they think that's stupid, right? And then I did that one time, and the person I responded to hit me back with the exact same smiley face, right? Like, it's just anxiety. But like, I learned from that. It has benefited me greatly since then, you know? I recently had a sort of cross-team presentation. I've only ever had one other type of presentation before, and it was within our little main team, our little pod, and I don't do well, or historically, I haven't done well with public speaking. It's not a forte of mine. And, you know, so I was very nervous the first time I did it within our internal team, within our little pod. So I was very nervous for this one, because this one, while it was all within the company, it was from a bunch of different teams within the company. And I had to do a little blurb report thingy, and I was nervous. And then I realized there were some like big people on this call, like some VPs and or senior VP. I don't know what some of these people were, but I know like they're big. And I'm like, oh, I have information I'd like to tell you about this thing that I know. I don't mind me stuttering, and losing my train of thought. I was very nervous. I got through it, and my boss says I did okay. I got feedback, because I'm like, okay, this is going to be a thing. I'm going to be doing this more often, and probably as things progress in front of different groups and bigger groups, I need to know, how can I improve now? And he thought I did well. So cool. But the thing that I learned from that is my anxiety told me it was going to be horrible. You know, I'm gonna completely fudge it, and they're gonna think they're gonna laugh. Literally, the Carrie track, the track from Carrie, they're gonna laugh at you, was playing in my head. I'm like, God, that's not, you know, and none of that happened. None of it happened. No, there wasn't even any questions. Everything was fine. I even got good feedback from my manager, and it is funny how quickly that kind of a lesson can spread, right? Like that lesson of, it'll probably be okay, of this sort of one particular anxiety, which is a sort of meeting over a Zoom, right? Because following that, I had another meeting. It was only one person, but it was with a group of people, and it was on something that I was a bit weary of. And when going into the room, I was nervous, because I'm like, oh God, they're gonna think I'm stupid. Like, again, like I'm gonna say something silly there or some whatever. And I wasn't even, like, once I got in the room and I started talking, like that nerve I was able to kind of temper it down, and I just went on with my life. Like, it was a great meeting. I was like, oh, I'm holding my own against some stuff now, right? I followed that with another meeting with a different team. And I was like, look, I know my 2 cents when it comes to this particular thing. Next thing I know, other people being added onto this call, and I was nervous. Like, this is my fidget toy, in case you can't hear, in case you're hearing that. I just took it out of my pocket, put it on the table, and started playing with it to sort of put my energy somewhere. And, yeah, it worked. I had a great meeting. I provided great feedback, and I'm like, oh, I can do this. Interesting, because I told myself I couldn't be certain roles within the company because it required me to have all these meetings, and there's no way I could do that. Like, I can't. I'm so nervous when I talk to people, all those kind of silly things. And it's true, it is. I am, but it's not like I can't learn from it. One presentation thingy, and I was learning from it, right? And the whole point of me making this whole video, I don't even know who was still here. If you are, thank you. The whole point of this is applying certain things that you learn from incidents to other parts of your life. I try to explain this the best way I can. Like, I can apply, oh, I did a good presentation, or I had a good meeting. I can apply that to other meetings and have good, and to mitigate that sort of anxiety or fear that I have. But how can I apply what I've learned to something that isn't about a meeting per se, right? So like the thought I had was, and I always get weird when I try to say it out loud, because all of the negative thoughts, right? Everything just is like arrows at my back or something. But I'm like, one of my dreams is to be an actress. And I've basically told myself off rip that it'll never happen, because there's no way. I can't stand in front of people and like audition. And then that leads into a litany of other thoughts that my antidepressants are working hard to mute, so I'm gonna let them work. But either way, I basically told myself off rip it'll never happen, because I'm so scared to try. I am genuinely terrified to even try. Mostly to have someone tell me that I'm bad to my face, or to tell me that I'm stupid, or they're gonna laugh at you, like, right? But those are the fears that I've had for everything that I do. Literally. This is silly. The lip gloss. I put this on because I'm not a huge fan of just straight sparkle. Like, I like color and sparkle, and I don't like it. And so my thoughts are, but I'm gonna wear it, right? Like, holy shit, you scared the out of me. Holy f- How you gonna do all that and then just gonna start eating? Oh my god. Alright, like, I was getting into this, right? And I was playing with this under here, and she's sitting in my, like, right in front of me, and I thought she was chill. She was, but I didn't realize she had, like, got up on her hind legs and was sniffing this, and I couldn't hear her or anything until I felt puffs on my hand. I looked down, and she basically jump scared me. And her response is to go eat. But like, on a certain level, I kind of like it, right? It's a weird feeling. I like it a little bit, but I think it doesn't look good on me, which is a thing, right? But I put it on anyway. Now, will people probably say something bad about it? Who the knows? But it's not going to be as bad as I thought previously, right? It's not going to be as bad as my brain is coming up with, right? Same way with the whole acting thing. This ain't no agreement that I'm gonna try that, but you know, learning what I've been learning from my anxiety, or I guess my therapist would say exposure therapy, is teaching me to understand that my anxiety isn't as large as it makes itself seem in front of me, if that makes sense, right? It looks like this Goliath in front end that I can't even bypass, so I might as well not even try. It's scary. Let me just take this other path that's really long, and I don't want to go there, but there's no Goliath. It's an easy path. And in fact, you get closer and closer to the Goliath, and it's like it's like a meerkat. It'll hiss at you and then run away. And then you learn to just not even stop at the mirror. Don't ask me why meerkat is what I chose, because I was going to use bobcat, but those kill you. So the only other cat it came was meerkat. Anyway, eventually you won't even be bothered by the meerkat. You'll notice it, you'll acknowledge it, but you'll keep walking in stride like nothing even happened. And I'll let that experience teach me that. I'll let this experience teach me this YouTube thing. Prayerfully it goes successful and all the things, and if it doesn't, I'll learn from that. It's gonna go successful. Subscribe, like, share, subscribe, do the things. Jeez. Just kidding. I'm not though. The button's down there. Okay. But the whole point of this whole conversation is I had a thought. I was talking to myself, and I'm like, I might as well share it. Let your lessons that you learn on an individual basis apply to your life as a whole. If you're scared to try something because you have all these thoughts that it's going to go horrible, and you've got at least one example in your life where you've done a thing that you had similar thoughts to and it worked out, use that as enough of a boost to go and try with this other thing. That's all. If you've made it all the way to the end and I don't know, you got something from this, please leave me a comment down below. I don't know, tell me about a time when you overcame your fears or your anxiety. Which I don't know if people would quantify those as the same. Anyway. Oh, you came back, huh? And if you made it this far, I gave a cupcake last time. I don't know. Here's a star. Let me stop moving my hand because that's too hard to edit. Here's a star. Right there. Because you're golden. As always, thanks for hanging out with me. You guys make it easy to be open, even though there's no one here right now. But I don't know. There's a safety in this. As always, thanks for hanging out with me. Like, share, subscribe, hit the little bell, do all the things. I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao.